Hello everyone, welcome to the video on anti-arrhythmic agent. Let us understand this word arrhythmia. Arrhythmia means error in cardiac rhythm. Now cardiac tissue has got a particular rhythm. What do you mean by rhythm? Now cardiac cells undergo a specific type of contraction and relaxation. What happens in the heart is all the contraction starts from SCA node. Now SCA node is, is presented here. Now the signal generates from this SCA node and the signal reaches to the entire atria. Now after that AV node, from the AV node a signal generates which reaches to the entire ventricle. So the steps when you see, it all starts with signal initiation. Signal initiation starts with SCA node, sinoatrial node, and then signal propagation. Whatever the signal is propagated, whatever the signal is generated, it is propagated across atria and ventricle. And finally signal termination. Termination means when this signal reaches at the base of this heart, there the signal ends and again a new signal starts. So atrial contraction occurs, after that ventricular contraction occurs. So these are all the three major steps which are known as cardiac rhythm. Any problem in these three steps results in error in rhythm, and that is what becomes arrhythmia. So cardiac arrhythmia means there is an error in rhythm. To correct this rhythm, certain drugs are there. They are known as anti-arrhythmic drugs. Let us see about the details of anti-arrhythmic drugs and arrhythmia. So this is what I just explained. SCA node. SCA node is where the signal initiation occurs and the signal spreads to this entire atria. Now after this the signal reaches to AV node, atrioventricular node. From there the signal entirely reaches to ventricles, which is carried by bundle of His and Purkinje fibers. All of them will enable the entire ventricles will contract. When the signal reaches at this bottom, the signal ends, again a new signal starts. When people has got problem in generating these signals, they use a special machine called as pacemaker, which is nothing but a battery which gives a small impulses. Now, so arrhythmias can be classified in two ways. One, arrhythmias which are occurring to ventricle, which is known as ventricular arrhythmia. The other one which is occurring above the ventricles, which is nothing but atria. They are known as supraventricular arrhythmias. They are nothing but atrial arrhythmias. There are certain types are there like atrial fibrillation, flutter, paroxysmal supraventricular tachycardia, Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. All of them are related to supraventricular arrhythmias. Whereas ventricular tachycardia, ventricular fibrillation, torse de pointes, all of them related to ventricles. Now, to control these things, there are four major classes are there. Class 1, sodium channel blocker. Class 2, beta blocker. Class 3, potassium channel blocker. Class 4, calcium channel blocker. And some miscellaneous antiarrhythmic drugs are there. Now, before understanding all the mechanism and about the drugs, we need to understand certain words like depolarization. See, this word keep coming in cardiac physiology. Understand what does it mean. See, usually inside the cells, there is a lot of amount of ATP is there. ATP is triphosphate. Triphosphate means PO4 minus groups are there and lot of proteins are there. So because of presence of all of them, inside the cell there is a negative charge is there. And that is known as resting membrane potential. Potential means charge. So normally inside the cell a negative charge is there. In cardiac cell it is around minus 90 millivolt. This is known as resting membrane potential. Now on the cell we have sodium channels are there. Now whenever this channel is opened, sodium gets inside the cell. When sodium gets inside the cell, it brings back positive charge. So this resting membrane potential is converted to positive potential. That is called as depolarization. So normal potential is negative. When it is opposed, when it becomes positive, it is called as depolarization. Now understand one more thing. Now in the cells we have potassium is also there. Inside the cell potassium is there. When the channel opens, potassium comes outside. Understand this one. When channel opens, sodium goes inside whereas potassium comes inside. Now what is the charge of potassium? It is positive. When the positive is coming out, what happens? The negative charge inside the cell even further increases. Already it is negative and you are taking positive out, more negative increases, and this is called as hyperpolarization. So depolarization, hyperpolarization, resting membrane potential. These things we need to keep it in mind while understanding antiarrhythmic drugs. Now look at them. So this is called as cardiac action potential. Action potential means repetitive depolarization and normal polarization is what is called as action potential. Now let us understand the steps. Look at this. This minus 90 is nothing but resting membrane potential, minus 90 volts. Now there are certain phases are there. At this zero phase, sodium channels will open. What happens when sodium channel opens? The sodium gets inside the cell. They will come into the cell. When sodium is getting inside, what happens to potential? From minus, it goes to positive. See, it crosses 0 and it goes to plus 20 millivolts. What do we call this process? Depolarization. So at stage 0, what is happening? Sodium is getting inside the cell, causing depolarization. Now after that, immediately after that, the sodium channels will close. After sodium channel is closed, potassium channels will open. What happens when potassium channel is open? See, this is phase 1. What happens when potassium channel is open? Potassium goes out. So it results in brief repolarization. That means, see, when potassium is going out, what happens? The potential is coming down. That is what is called as repolarization. Now at phase 2, what happens is, because there is a change in potential, voltage gated calcium channels will open. When this happens, calcium gets inside the cell. So what happens with this? Calcium gets inside the cell. So there occurs a kind of plateau phase. Now after that, now the next is again the calcium also opens for a brief period and calcium closes. Again potassium channel is open, so still it is going out, and this is called as repolarization. So normal polarity, it is coming back. That is what is called as repolarization. Now at stage 4, what happens at stage 4 is, see what has happened, sodium got inside the cell, potassium goes outside the cell. So at this stage, sodium potassium pump will act to correct these ionic balances. Normally potassium has to be inside the cell, but what happened in this process? Potassium went outside the cell. Sodium should present outside the cell. It is an extracellular ion. So in this process, sodium got inside the cell. So here a sodium potassium pump acts to correct these differences. Now understand how this sodium potassium pump, there is a funny mnemonic is there, Nokia 321. 321. See, NO means sodium goes out, N sodium, O is out. Ki means potassium comes inside. How many sodiums go out? 3 sodiums go out, 2 potassium comes in. By using A means ATP, 1 ATP. So this is what is the job of sodium potassium pump, Nokia 321. So whatever the sodium got inside the cell goes outside, and potassium comes inside by using an ATP, and it restores normal resting membrane potential. This is important to understand the mechanism of all antiarrhythmic drugs. Moving further, so the major classes are, 3 classes are there, sodium channel, 4 classes, sodium channel blockers, beta blockers, potassium channel blockers, calcium channel blockers. Others are these drugs. Now in sodium channel blockers, 3 classes are there, 1A, 1B, 1C. The classes are made according to their duration of action, or intermediate duration or intermediate strength drugs are 1A class of drugs, whereas weak drugs are 1B class of drugs. 1C are strong or potent drugs. All of them, they will block sodium channel, but there is a difference in their activity. 1A class procainamide, quinidine, 1B lidocaine, 1C flecainide, propafenone. This is again the list of the drugs. Now the major adverse effects are there with 1A arithmetic drugs. Understand them. So quinidine is from cinchona alkaloid. Repeatedly taking the drug will result in this kind of adverse effect known as synchronism. It results in headache, tinnitus, and blurred vision. Procainamide causes a kind of SLE kind of autoimmune disorder, systemic lupus erythematosus. Disopyramide has got anticholinergic effect. So all of them, hypertension, dry eyes, dry mouth, urinary retention, are related to anticholinergic effects. Now, class B are very popular drugs, beta blockers. We all know these drugs. They are used to treat arrhythmias because they reduce cardiac output and reduce heart rate. This is what is controlled. Now, the next one. Now, class 3 antiarrhythmic are potassium channel blockers. The important drugs are amiodarone, dronedarone, sotalol, ibutalide, tofetilide. Sotalol is a potassium channel blocker and beta blocker, whereas amiodarone blocks sodium channel, potassium channel, calcium channels, and alpha and beta receptors are also blocked. Because of this non-specificity, it has got wide adverse effects are there. This is the structure of amiodarone. See, it has got these iodines. Because of this one, it has got thyroid related adverse effects are there. The major problem is it is highly lipophilic. The half-life is 20 to 100 days. So various adverse effects are there: thyroid dysfunction, pulmonary fibrosis, liver dysfunction, neurological problems, constipation, corneal deposits, and gray skin discoloration, photosensitivity. Cardiac adverse effects are also there, like bradycardia, heart block, and heart failure. Now the next one is class 4. We have seen already, like verapamil, diltiazem, calcium channel blockers, which are cardioselective. They are used to treat angina pectoris and arrhythmias, especially supraventricular or atrial arrhythmiasis. They are used to treat hypertension and tachycardia. See, cardioselective drugs are these two, whereas dihydropyridines are vasoselective. So they are not used here. Now, the major adverse effects of calcium channel blockers are constipation, flushing, and hyperprolactinemia. Heart block and SCNO depression is also there with calcium channel blockers. They should not be used along with beta blockers because reduce cardiac conduction velocity and causes prominent AV block. So these are all the major 4 classes. Next, we have miscellaneous drugs are there, like adenosine, digoxin, magnesium. Now adenosine blocks L-type calcium channel and also opens potassium channels. So it hyperpolarizes and reduces calcium entry and controls arrhythmia. So majorly it is used to treat paroxysmal supraventricular and Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome. Both of them are atrial arrhythmias. The major side effects are flushing. See, flushing hypotension is because of dilation, vasodilation. See, it is blocking calcium channels, and also it causes bronchoconstriction, dyspnea and chest pain. Difficulty in breathing is what is dyspnea is. Now digoxin, in the previous video, one of my previous video, I have explained about digoxin mechanism of action. It directly blocks calcium entry into the heart, but indirectly it activates vagal nerve, which reduces heart rate, conduction velocity. And this is the major reason why it is used to treat arrhythmias. See, majority of arrhythmias has got tachyarrhythmias, increase in heart rate. That condition is treated by these drugs. But the major problem is it has got very narrow therapeutic index. So overdose may cause arrhythmia and atrial tachycardia with AV block. This is the major problem with digoxin. The last drug, magnesium, the exact mechanism is not known, but it can be used to treat severe arrhythmias like Torsades pointes. It is also used to reverse the toxicity caused by digoxin. Magnesium sulfate, magnesium chloride are used. So this is about the drug treatment of arrhythmic drugs. Thank you for watching this video. If you like the video content, do subscribe and share.